So today, we're going to tear into a song that's so much more than just music. It's this meticulously engineered emotional experience. We're going to break down how Bring Me the Horizon's Drown was literally built, note by note, to make you feel what it's like to hit rock bottom and then finally ask for help.
Right from the jump, that's the opening line. It's such a brutal twist on that old saying, and it wastes zero time telling you that this is not going to be some story about resilience. Nope, this is a story of collapse, and it just sets this bleak, incredibly honest stage for everything that's about to hit you.
Okay, so where did a song like this even come from? To really, truly get Drown, you have to understand the crisis that it was born from. This wasn't just another writing session. This was born from a moment of just complete and utter desperation.
And when you look at the timeline, it all starts to click. Drown isn't just a song. It's basically a diary entry from frontman Oliver Sykes hitting his absolute lowest point. His struggle with addiction wasn't just some background noise for the album. It was the raw material, a desperate call for help that he wrote while he was actually in rehab. And man, you can really see the radical pivot the band took here. They literally moved away from the aggressive, screaming sound that defined their early years and just embraced this massive sound built for pure emotional impact. This wasn't just a change in style, it was the only way they could tell this new, deeply vulnerable story.
So how did they do it? How do you translate all of that pain into actual sound? Well, believe it or not, it all started with the lyrics. They came first, and they acted as the actual blueprint for the entire song. The words themselves basically dictated the sonic architecture.
I mean, this one lyric is it's one of the most powerful images in the whole song. Sykes isn't asking for a lifeline. He's not asking for a rescue rope. He's asking someone to drag the lake, a plea that basically says he's already a lost cause, already sunk. He's not asking to be rescued. He's asking to be recovered.
And then you get to this line, which is, it's basically the song's entire thesis. The enemy isn't some outside force. It's his own mind, his own addiction. When he says, "Save me from myself," Sykes is just completely throwing out the whole idea of rugged individualism. He's admitting that, right then, trying to do it all by yourself isn't just wrong. It's dangerous.
Now, for a band that built its entire reputation on aggression and strength, this line in the bridge is, it's a total surrender. It's this heartbreakingly simple admission of weakness that becomes the emotional peak of the whole song. And the way the music just pulls back, that's on purpose, to let the fragility of those words hit you at their full force.
All right, so we've got this raw emotional blueprint from the lyrics, but how in the world did the producers take that despair and engineer it so you could literally feel it coming out of your speakers? This right here is where the genius of the production really comes in.
Yeah, that was the big question, right? For producers, Jordan Fish and Oliver Sykes, their whole philosophy was to create immensity, not brutality. They weren't trying to assault you with sound. They wanted to completely immerse you, to pull you under with them.
So one of the coolest things they did is this little psychoacoustic trick on your ears. In the verses, they make the whole sound feel really narrow and tight, almost claustrophobic, like you're underwater. But then when that chorus hits, the entire thing just explodes wide open. It creates this massive sense of release, like you're literally breaking the surface and finally taking a breath.
But get this, they went even deeper. They were literally assigning emotional jobs to specific frequencies. That line, "The weight of the world's getting harder to hold up," it's not just a metaphor. You are physically feeling that weight in the heavy, low sub-bass. The anguish and the urgency, that's engineered right into the middle range of the vocals, while any little glimmer of hope is tucked into those airy high sounds that give the chorus that feeling of openness. And remember that lyric, "It comes in waves"? Well, turns out that was basically a production note. They used this cool trick where the big atmospheric synths are kind of forced to duck out of the way every single time the kick drum hits. What that does is create this constant pulsing, a swelling and fading that makes the whole song breathe like a giant, overwhelming wave. It's incredible. So, okay, all this incredible technical work, this deep emotional architecture, did it work? What was the actual impact out in the real world? Well, it wasn't just some studio achievement. It became a full-on cultural phenomenon.
Oh, it was an absolute smash. Hitting #1 on the rock charts? Okay, maybe you'd expect that. But breaking into the top 20 of the mainstream UK singles chart, that's a whole other level. It proved that this kind of raw vulnerability could connect with a massive, massive audience, and it shot the band into the global mainstream.
But, it was way bigger than just the charts. Drown really signaled a huge cultural shift. It absolutely validated the band's new direction. But more than that, it helped kick off an era where mainstream rock could be fragile and openly desperate. It was proof that emotional honesty could hit just as hard, if not harder, than the heaviest guitar riff ever could. And really, this quote just nails it perfectly. Because of all these careful production choices, the width, the frequencies, the pulsing, the track completely transforms. It's not just a song you listen to anymore, it becomes a place you go. You're not just hearing the sadness, you're in it.
Which kind of leaves us with this one last thought. Drown is just a masterclass in turning feeling into sound. It shows us that every little technical choice, every knob turn on a compressor, every tiny frequency boost doesn't just have to be about making something sound good. It can be an act of empathy. It's about using technology to make someone, somewhere out there, feel truly and completely understood.